Jenna Ortega burst her way into the spotlight as a Gen Z icon with stellar performances in multiple movies and shows. But if you're just hearing about Ortega now after Wednesday blew up, you've been sleeping on this star. Did you know that she's been in shows since nearly 10 years before taking on the iconic role of Wednesday? Let's dive deeper as we rank 10 of Jenna Ortega's best performances from her roles in movies and shows. Starting our countdown with number 10, Jane the Virgin. Jenna Ortega was no doubt a child star, but this one might be a little bit of a surprise if you didn't know already. You might not have recognized her back then, but Jenna plays a young Jane during the show's frequent flashbacks to the childhood of Jane Villanueva, the main character. Although we only see her in the occasional flashback sequence, Ortega still shows off her acting talents from a young age, featuring her signature wit and comedic instincts. She doesn't serve as the number one role in this show, unfortunately, but it was only a matter of time at that point. This brings us to the next role on our countdown. Number 9, The Babysitter, Killer Queen. Unfortunately, The Babysitter didn't receive the best reviews from critics, but it's not Ortega's fault. Ortega plays the role of Phoebe Atwell, a new student who helps Cole Johnson, played by Judah Lewis, escape from the satanic cult that has been trying to kill him for 2 films now. Ortega is an edgy character who comes from a juvenile detention center to a new school, befriends Cole, and supports him in his fight against a group of killers, while striking up a romance with him along the way. As usual, Ortega's witty comments, commitment to the role, and dry humor help us find something to stick to and enjoy, which was very welcome in a film that was otherwise lacking. Now, let's turn to her next performance. Number 8, You. If you felt like you recognized Jenna Ortega but couldn't pinpoint from where, it might have been from her role as Ellie in the second season of Netflix's You. The second season of You follows stalker/killer Joe Goldberg as he moves to Los Angeles to escape his murderous past, but not for very long. During the season, Joe strikes up a romance with his neighbor in the apartment complex, Delilah. Ellie is Delilah's younger sister and develops a nice friendship with Joe, guiding him on the ways of social media as he tries to protect her. Ortega's performance as Ellie is often underrated, as she wore many hats and demonstrated many layers to her character. Altogether, her role in You was just a sample of what she is capable of, and all part of her upward journey to stardom. Bringing us to number 7, Saving Flora. Released in 2019, Saving Flora is one of the first movies starring Ortega. In this feel-good film, Ortega plays a daughter of a circus owner and runs away with an elephant with the goal of taking it from the circus to a nature preserve, braving the wilderness with just her and the elephant to get there.
Every time you eat an apple, you're gonna think of. I'm gonna think of you.
Ortega fits the role of the underdog character who aims to prove herself and finds romance along the way. The movie has its dramatic moments and a little bit of humor mixed in, and Ortega is up to the task, meeting all of the moments with her versatile acting skills. Since then, the movie roles have just kept coming, leading us to another one of her excellent roles. Number 6, Yes Day. 2021 film, Yes Day was not a particularly unique or memorable movie, but still, the movie does feature an excellent performance from Ortega. Released on Netflix, Yes Day was a fun for the whole family movie with plenty of fun and silly moments. Not only is the film a lighthearted watch, but it also showed off Ortega's versatility and ability to be both funny and angsty. Ortega plays the frustrated teenager trying to convince her parents to be more fun. In one scene in particular, Ortega shows off her strong acting skills as her character starts panicking when her phone dies at a concert.
I have a charger, my phone just died. I'm sorry. Do you have a charger? My phone just died. I want to get home.
Oh, you wanna go home?
I want to go home.
Now you're home.
Her acting in the scene is especially noteworthy since it is super relatable and highly emotional. Compare this role to any of her newer works and you'll see that her range is incredible. Speaking of range, she's been showing it off for years, and the next show on our countdown proves it. Number 5, Stuck in the Middle. If you are looking for the perfect example of a cheesy Disney Channel comedy, Stuck in the Middle is probably the number 1 example. However, Ortega stood out for her leading role in the show, as it was one of Ortega's first leading roles, and even at age 13, she carried the show on her own. Ortega plays young 13-year-old inventor Harley Dias who has to constantly wrangle her chaotic family of 9 together, taking on all the immense responsibilities that come with being a middle child. Between her intermittent monologues, narration, and over-the-top enthusiasm fit for a Disney show, Ortega does shine in this role. Looking back on it now, it's impressive to see how far she's come and just how many different roles she has taken on. When it comes to her acting, she's far from stuck in the middle, and there are so many ways she has proven it, like in the next part of our countdown. Number 4, X. X is another movie that demonstrates the sheer acting talent of the Gen Z star. Released in 2022, X is a fun horror thriller that features Ortega stealing the show. X received great reviews, obtaining an impressive 94% rating on Rotten Tomatoes with its fresh take on the classic slasher film concept, drawing comparisons to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The movie follows a group of friends looking for a place to stay so they can make an adult film. That is, before they get caught, things go south, and their lives are in jeopardy. Despite the fact that she wasn't exactly the leading role in the film, audiences were drawn to Ortega's incredible acting as Lorraine, as per usual. Her performance in this horror movie only shows that Ortega will shine no matter the genre. Her blood-curdling scream when realizing that they are trapped in a basement is one of the most memorable scenes from the film. In fact, this scream was the centerpiece of the film's marketing. If that doesn't highlight that Ortega is an undisputed star, then we don't know what does. Now, let's dive into the top 3, starting with number 3, Scream. Jenna Ortega clearly keeps busy, as Scream was the third movie of 2022 to feature the young star. And, although she's been in multiple roles before, this is one of the roles that helped her start breaking into the spotlight, as more people learn her name. The movie is the 5th follow-up to the original Scream, as a new killer wreaks havoc on the town of Woodsboro, wearing the classic ghost face mask. The killer targets a group of teenagers that includes Tara Carpenter, played by Ortega. Ortega's character faces the killer 3 times and still makes it out until the end, and she does an incredible job bringing the fear to us watching. In fact, Ortega even won an MTV Movie Award for the most frightened performance thanks to her strong role. Between these last films, it is pretty clear that Jenna is a perfect fit for the horror genre. So what is Ortega's number 2 best performance on our countdown? Let's break it down. Number 2, The Fallout. The Fallout is one of Ortega's highest-rated performances by far, even with her multiple successes. The movie itself received an impressive 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, with many critics praising Ortega's acting. The Fallout released in January 2022 on HBO Max and followed Ortega's character Veda as she becomes a brand new person, finding friends like Mia, played by Maddie Ziegler, who help push her out of her comfort zone and into new opportunities. In this role, Ortega had an incredibly authentic performance in a highly emotional role, portraying a teen who struggles to deal with her emotions and process trauma. However, there were many lighter and sometimes silly moments too, adding to the complexity of her performance. While watching, we couldn't help but want to laugh and cry throughout, thanks to Ortega's ability to balance invoking both emotions so well. And finally, which may not come as a surprise to you, Jenna Ortega's top performance. Number 1, Wednesday. Could there really have been another answer for number 1? Hit Netflix series Wednesday has taken the world by storm. Following Wednesday Addams' coming of age as she goes to Nevermore School of Outcasts, meets unlikely friends, and ends up solving a series of ghastly murders in this spin-off to the original Addams family. And at this point, Jenna Ortega simply has taken over the role Wednesday, as it is safe to say that her rendition of Wednesday will not be forgotten. From the TikTok Wednesday dance trend, to the 6 weeks the show topped Netflix charts, to Ortega's multiple talk show appearances, Jenna Ortega has become a household name. No matter what you think of the show, the waves that she made in the iconic role is enough to say that it is her best one yet. Fortunately, Netflix has officially renewed the show for a season 2, so there is plenty more Jenna Ortega as Wednesday Addams to come. So there we have it, a full ranking of Jenna Ortega's best shows and movies. What do you think Jenna Ortega's best performance was? Which role did you first see her in? Let us know down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe for more breakdowns of the hottest shows and movies right now, featuring reviews, recaps, in-depth analysis, and more. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.